the Eagles Nest, and we are coming to you live from Sunbury, Ohio at Big Walnut High School. After a flawless two-game road stint, the Golden Eagles of Big Walnut are back on friendly soil in search of their 11th consecutive conference win dating all the way back to 2023, but it'll be no small task ahead of them, though, as the Wildcats of Westerville South are similarly matched in the top 25 of Ohio's Division II. They're incoming with swagger after overcoming a 15-point deficit at half against Dublin Scioto and shutting out their week 2 and 3 opponents. I'm Bryce Coder, joined as always by Josh Anderson, bringing you this one live and free on the OH Report. Join us for the pregame show coming up next.
Live and free coverage of Big Walnut Athletics, proudly presented by the Sunbury Fraternal Order of Eagles, serving the community since 1898.
This place means everything to us. This is where we come together. We do all of our birthdays out here. We grill hamburgers and hot dogs. We fish. I was about to give up. I was about to think that the property wasn't going to become mine. Rural First specializes in solving the problems. I made the call, and the rest is history. It was done. It made everything easy, questions answered, walked me through the process. It was done. When I'm here, just feel peace. That's all it means to me. Peace.
Find more than a place to rent. Find a place to call home with the Champion Companies. Be part of a community where our team goes above and beyond because we want you to love where you live. Visit livewithchampion.com now and see how you can make the district at Berkshire your new home.
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
Bryce Coder, Joshua Anderson here with the Complete Air Systems Heating and Cooling LLC pregame show. We are here at the Eagles Nest of Big Walnut High School here on Military Night, and a special one. I showed up right around 5 o'clock in the parking lot, already packed out. This is a big one for them. They had fantastic ceremony, and the big treat, having some paratroopers fly down on the field during the national anthem. Josh, how you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. When I pulled in, I was like, hey, is this Ohio State football tailgate? Or what's going on here, Bryce? But beautiful night for football. I can't wait to see a good one tonight, Bryce.
And a couple of really special ones coming up. Tonight being Military Night, but next week also being homecoming for everyone. So a special homestand for Big Walnut. While we're here talking about the Golden Eagles, go ahead and jump into our team spotlight for Big Walnut. And they're 3-1 on the year, having a great year so far. 1-0 in the conference last week, beating Hayes 45-7, and it was a decisive one.
Yeah, it was a pretty decisive one. You know, like we always say, Burley time came at pretty nicely, and especially in the second half. So hopefully they're able to continue this game going forward, Bryce.
Speaking of Burley time, he is our player spotlight tonight. And, I mean, he had 5 touchdowns in the last game alone, 10 on the season. All those rushing yards, 8.6 yards per carry. I mean, that is unbelievable.
Yeah, once again, I hate to being a dead horse, but, you know, video game stats, that's what he's rushing right now. He's doing some pretty incredible things on the ground.
And jumping into our keys to victory right before we jump into the national anthem, and it looks like they have officially jumped, everyone motioning towards the sky. But they do take a minute or two to come down, so we'll jump into the keys to victory. And for Big Walnut, you said it's protect the ball. I mean, that's been a theme, is the turnovers lately, particularly the fumbles, and then, of course, staying disciplined on defense, really wanting to avoid those flags. You look at the team totals and where their opponents are versus where they are. I mean, they're almost identical in penalty yards.
Yeah, definitely, and I think that's going to be a big thing, especially for tonight on defense. It seems like it's going to be another dual threat quarterback, and they just need to stay disciplined. Keep your eyes in front of you, and don't let the trickery fool you up front, Bryce.
So taking a look at our team spotlight for the Wildcats of Westerville South, and also a 3-1 team near the top at 1-0 in the conference, and they have that strong, diverse rushing attack and that turnover-generating offense. And, you know, those are a couple of things that can really potentially be weaknesses for Big Walnut.
Definitely. You know, looking at the stats, looking at them play, they just have a diverse running attack. Their quarterback runs, they have 2 running backs that are pretty good in their rushing attack. So it's just going to be interesting to see how, one, the defense can stay disciplined, and also on offense as well. If they have a pretty good defense, creating turnover, so take care of the ball.
So taking a look at the team spotlight for the Wildcats, a couple of guys potentially could have gotten the nod there, but you went with the quarterback Evan Andrews with 78.7 passing yards, 64.5 rushing yards per game, and 3 passing touchdowns. So really able to rack up stats early on in this season.
Definitely, he just shows a nice balanced attack. You know, doing some good things on his feet, doing some good things with his arm. He's going to need to do that today to open up the game up, putting his offense in positions for success, Bryce.
And so we will take a brief pause for the national anthem. The home crowd coming alive for the paratroopers. They love it. Second consecutive year that we've been here seeing them do that, and the home crowd, they're excited.
That was the first time I saw that, Bryce, and that was just truly remarkable. I've never seen anything like that in a football game, especially a high school one.
Goosebumps moments almost.
Yeah, definitely.
And so taking a look at our keys to victory as we finish up the complete heating and cooling LLC pregame show is the keys to victory here. And you said creating and capitalizing on those turnovers. We've seen Big Walnut put those up, but really taking advantage of those chances that they're given and then controlling the pace of football. I mean, we talk about the freight train that is Big Walnut, and if they can really start to chunk together a few yards, I mean, the initiative is forever in their favor.
Yeah, exactly. You know, just being able to capitalize on those turnovers, you know, especially in those situations where, you know, they're just not taking care of the ball, making your opponent pay for their mistakes. And like you said, controlling the pace is huge, especially when you're playing a team like Big Walnut. We're going to try to take the air out of football. If you're able to eliminate those type of things, it could be a long game for Big Walnut.
So taking a look at the schedule for Big Walnut, and lost the first game to Bishop Watterson. That's a tough one. I mean, they've just been trouncing teams. I think they beat someone 81-0 a couple of weeks ago. Beating Dunbar, though, in a shutout victory, 47-0, bringing it back against Groveport Madison in Groveport, 26-10. And then last week, of course, winning 45-7 over Hayes. And they were missing Favor Aki, so definitely missing a key star, but definitely the Golden Eagles had a fantastic game.
Definitely. You know, it's one of those things. It's like when you're on the field and you hear these great stars, and these are always good things. But Golden Eagles had their own star. I think that's Nolan Burley, and he came up and showed out. And it was just a team effort that last week. So it's going to be a team effort today. We'll see how it goes and how it rocks and roll. But I think we're going to have a good night for football at Bryce.
Lining up for the kickoff, and it will be Big Walnut back to receive. So last game starting off, another slow start for Big Walnut. No points in the first quarter, but boy, did that quickly change. Nolan Burley with 5 touchdowns in the game, 3 of them in the second quarter alone.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I can't wait to see what's the game plan going to be for this week. Westerville is going to adjust. They're not going to let him take off this game, so it's going to be other guys that's going to have to step up. It's going to be a team effort.
So we are underway as Nolan Burley fields it on the 3-yard line, now crossing the 25, and a healthy return all the way up to the 36, and that's where the Golden Eagles will begin.
I like it, Bryce. Big Walnut come out in their black uniforms, looking nice, looking like Batman on the field. He'd love to see it.
And back in front of the home crowd for the first time in 2 games. Not too many away games left on their schedule, but it was quite a road stand for them.
Yeah, it makes you want to sing Willie Nelson on the road again, right?
Yeah.
But it's always good to be back home, and I think, the fans missed them. I think Big Walnut kind of missed some of that home cooked meals, and we'll see how they're going to what they're going to do for their fans today. I mean, like I said, they've kind of been rolling, and there's nothing like when you're coming back home, that first drive, hearing the crowd just excite because they miss you.
So the first play for the offense, they hand it off to Nolan Burley, who finds space, gets a first down, and plenty more across the 40. Tries to stay on his feet, but he's all the way deep into the territory of the Wildcats.
Hey, what I just said right there, right? When sometimes you get back in the home crowd, you just get a little energized, and that was a way to start the first play right there with a big boom on offense.
So after that one, Nolan Burley has already earned himself a district at Berkshire first down.
Oh, man.
So now out of the shotgun, Brody Hatfield in motion behind the quarterback. They hand it off to Burley once more. Up the gut, he'll take it into the red zone, and he's brought down right around the 19-yard line.
That's be interesting. Last week they had a lot of motion to get people involved right there. So I like how they had the pulling guards right there to kind of a different look of runs instead of that inside zone for the first play. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what Burley's going to do, what the play call is going to go forward, because you can already tell so far Westerville is going to start to stack in the box, and that's going to be the kind of trend going forward for Big Walnut here, Bryce.
Just as predicted, 3 guys lining up near the box. Looks like they're going with a 4 linebacker front. Alone in the backfield, but across comes Burley. He'll go wide across the 20 and rung up and brought down right around the 16-yard line.
That's great. That was a nice formation right there, trying to spread out the defense, as you said. You saw the 4 linebackers. They're trying to definitely stack the box. So they're credit to Big Walnut, trying to spread the defense out, trying to get their playmakers to make plays. So
it brings up 3rd down, 3rd and 1. We'll have to get it to the 16. And they want the offsides call, but now they're getting the play. But they will have to burn a timeout.
Yeah, it seemed like they were scheming real too hard for that hard count right there to have the defense jumped. It seemed like they did jump, but not enough to get in that neutral zone for the refs to call offsides right there or encroachment.
And so 3rd and 1, a big spot here, the very first drive of the ball game. Nolan Burley so far, the man with the plan, has worked it all the way down to the 17, just 3 feet in front of him to the first down.
I wonder what they're going to call right here. You know, it would be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe this is crazy of me. They might go for a pass right here. You know, if it's 3rd and 1, it might be, hey, let's see what we got. Everybody stacking the box. Let's try to hit him over the top. But we'll see what goes on in here. Coach might just say, hey, we have the best player in the field. Let's just give it to him and pick up the first down. Not overcomplicate things.
So the same look as before. Snapping it, Burley, trapped in the backfield and nowhere to go. In fact, it'll be for a loss. Linebackers right on top of it. Credit the tackle, I believe that one going to Manny Norwood.
Yeah, right there. You can see like kind of an A-gap blitz right there. Like we said, teams are going to start doing this, packing the box. Anybody besides him. That's going to be the mantra for a lot of these defenses going forward in the season, Bryce. And interested to see field goal coming out. Yeah, it's gotta get your points where you can get them.
4th and 5. It'll only be the 2nd attempted field goal all season long. They've been happy with touchdowns. This one up, not a great kick. In fact, it's wide left and out. So it'll be a change in possession. Stay with us for the first drive for the Wildcats.
Find more than a place to rent. Find a place to call home with the Champion Companies. Be part of a community where our team goes above and beyond because we want you to love where you live. Visit livewithchampion.com now and see how you can make the district at Berkshire your new home.
So an unsuccessful Jake Neff field goal, one of the rare ones we'll see from him, leads to a Wildcat possession where they start things off with a run towards the middle of the hashes. They'll pick up a few yards.
Yeah, you can see that was a very kind of funny looking formation right there, and I can see, like I said, it's a 3-headed monster right here. Who's going to get the ball? That's going to be the biggest thing for Big Walnut's defense. Staying disciplined. It could be him, could be him, could be him. Everybody has to do their job to stop him. Everybody has a responsibility in this defense, Bryce.
So now out of the pistol, instead I'll send him to the right hip, handing it off. The ball carrier Armstrong, but the ball comes out. They say that it will be ruled down after all of that. We'll take another look on the Reichert Express instant replay.
And definitely, you can definitely see, oh boy, that boy skids out right there, huh? You can definitely see the setup plays, right? As you can see, if you could kind of look at Andrews, as he's handing the ball off, he's opened up his hips, Bryce. I will pay attention to that read option coming here. Now, if it's not this drive, definitely down there later in the game.
A big 3rd down situation now, alone in the backfield. Andrews rolling out to his left, finds a receiver. It's enough for a first down, but tackled at the 36, so a healthy little gain will get the chains moving.
And this is something that we saw against this Big Walnut defense, and it kind of has a little bit of success in the season. The rolling out, right? And I think, especially with these mobile quarterbacks, it kind of just buys them a little more time. It's easier reads, easier progressions. If that guy's not open, then this guy's open. So it's going to be interesting to see, since we got that on film from Big Walnut, how they're going to adjust to that during the season.
On the sweep, hit hard and brought down. Looks like that tackler, I believe Jake Neff, indeed it is. The ball carrier that time, Owen Eschenauer.
That was a pretty good run. Short pickup, but one of those setup plays, like we said earlier, for the drive. Definitely can tell that the Wildcats are trying to get the feel for this Big Walnut defense.
2nd and 6. They need to make it to the 46-yard line to convert the first down. Handing it off, blown up in the backfield. Armstrong with nowhere to go. A couple of black jerseys in his way.
And credit to the outside linebacker Cole Heisel. You know, as he kind of stepped on the line right there, was able to kind of blow up that run before he even started churning along. So Big Walnut's going to need that. Put them in that obvious passing situations. So that way it helps out their DBs, helps out their defensive line to go get a sack lunch for this drive.
So sending him away, he'll be alone in the backfield. Andrews tries to catch him offside, no luck, nowhere to go though, and the inside tacklers bring him down. Give the credit to TJ Miner on the tackle for loss.
And nom. There he goes. That's what we just talked about, right? Getting the big guys in nice positions for them to succeed. That's an obvious passing situation. As soon as he snapped it, the big guys had to push on the offensive line. He did not like that look by any means, trying to get out of there. And as he saw, he got Miner right in his face. Didn't look pretty minor in that play, did he, Bryce?
TJ Miner has been a beast all season long. Now in the punt formation, doubling down on the protection. But a flag is thrown. Some discussion by the Zebras.
I think it could be encroachment on a Big Walnut, Bryce. Oh.
A false start instead going against Westerville South. So it'll lengthen their cause by 5 yards. Now the punt up, back to fielded is Brody Hatfield, one that spins all the way into their own red zone. He's trying to find any room at all. Ooh. Picks up about 5 before he's brought down right before the 25.
Great move right there. Got something out of nothing right there. Punts can be kind of weird, especially when they start bouncing. I never had my special team coaches says when the ball starts bouncing on a punt, that's when usually bad things start to happen, right? So credit to him. I know there's been some feuding issues for Big Walnut in this season, but they're able to get something. That was great right there. 25. I'll take that if I was a coach any day of the week, Bryce.
So now looking to get things started again on their own 25-yard line. They were able to work it down into the red zone, but an unsuccessful field goal left them scoreless. 2 wide receivers to his left. This time looking and find a man. It's Gavin Harrington fighting to stay on his feet, and he leaps forward for a couple extra yards all the way up to the 33.
That's a good setup. Play call right there, Bryce. The play action to Burley. Everybody's looking at him. Pulls it. Hit him with a nice 1-2. Okay, I would say that was a hitch. We'll consider that a curl, but that was a nice hitch right there. Great passing catch from the receiver and from the quarterback. That's what you got to do to be successful today, Bryce.
35 is the line to gain, rather. Rolling out, trying to find a receiver, finding one across the middle. It's Owen Pollock, the tight end.
And he gets those every game, 1 or 2. He got those little slip routes, especially in those play actions right there. That's a nice little corner. I will probably say that's his bread and butter this season. He looks good when he does it. So good stuff from Pollock right there, able to catch a ball, get a couple yards going north. That's what you need from your big guys, man.
7th catch of the year, having 121 yards, second only to Brody Hatfield. With 3 linebackers, one dropping back into coverage over the middle, finding a hole. Brody Hatfield utilizing that speed, looking towards the edge across the 30, looking for a blocker before he runs out of bounds at the 21-yard line. Golden Eagles knocking on the door of the red zone.
Hey, look, we got to give kudos to Caden Long, Jack Wecker, Matt Green, Brody Eckelberg, and Jackson Parsons. Look, Stumpf had so much time. He could have read a book, turned it back into the library, and got another book back there, right? And that's what you need from your big guys. Taking care of the ball, taking care of your quarterback right there. So much time, man. I thought I could run out the concession stand right there, Bryce.
So now they'll have another shot at the red zone. Burley fighting forward, stumbles across the 15-yard line, brought down at the 13. The line to gain looks to be the 12.
And that was great right there. I love how this play call, this series, has been very complimentary, right? The play action from the first play. Now it's kind of like a little RPO action right there. Hand off to Stumpf with the receivers were still running their routes. You had to respect the offense. Everybody seems like the wealth is being spread this drive. You got to respect that. Let's see what the Wildcats are going to do, especially when it's getting kind of crunch time in the red zone, Bryce.
Well inside of the red zone, looking for a receiver, fades it, but unable to bring it down. Owen Pollock, the intended receiver.
And that was a good play call right there. Able to take a shot. Sometimes you got to put that ball on the top shelf if you're for the big guy. And it seemed like he put in a position where only he can get it, but it seemed like he just couldn't get it that one, Bryce.
We'll try again here on third down. Again, the 12-yard line is the line to gain. They'll have 2 yards to go. Wide receiver on either side of him. Again to Burley, this time not as quick off of it, throwing him forward, giving him an extra yard or two. He's at the 9. Give him the district at Berkshire first down.
And that's a good run. The 2 pulling guards able to, I'll say 2 pulling linemen able to kind of get that push, for him to get a small gain, but a necessary one to get the first down.
So first and goal at the 10-yard line. Inside of 3 minutes. No, it'll be Stumpf taking it himself. Negative on yardage this year, but he'll go positive for this one as he secures the first touchdown of the game for the Golden Eagles.
Ooh-wee, and that's what we call a great play calling series. Kudos to the offense, kudos to the coaches right there. The little trickery getting Nolan out in the sweep. I thought he was going to get the ball right there. That's how you know it was a good one. Then Stumpf was able to tuck it and get it to the Casa. That is textbook amazing play calling right there and execution.
Eli Stumpf certainly has wheels on him. He's a basketball player, but more of a pocket forward guy. He has 15 rushes for negative 9 yards on the season. Make it officially now 1 yard on the season after the 10-yard gain.
Hey, 1 yard, and he had a 1 touchdown today. Hey, it's okay.
Made all the difference.
All the difference.
So a break in the action. Oh, a delay of game called against Big Walnut. Will back him up 5 yards for the PAT. Jake Neff, 12 for 12 PATs this season. So the kick is up. This one a little straighter as it's straight through the uprights. Golden Eagles leading this one 7-0 over Westerville South.
Find more than a place to rent. Find a place to call home with the Champion Companies. Be part of a community where our team goes above and beyond because we want you to love where you live. Visit livewithchampion.com now and see how you can make the district at Berkshire your new home.
Big Walnut taking corrective action in their second drive as they come up with the touchdown in the way of an Eli Stumpf designed QB run. They'll be kicking it away now to Westerville South. Not a great kick. It's a squib fielded inside or past the 20-yard line, bouncing out towards the other side. This one is Jamari Alston, who gets right across the 50-yard line. Excellent field position for the Wildcats, and if they want to get this one back, that's how you start it.
Yeah, that was a big boom on the special teams right there. It seemed like as soon as he was trying to cut back on the other side, I was like, uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Could be big trouble for Big Walnut, but good contain on the special teams, but that is excellent field position right on the 50 for the Wildcats.
So they do line them up in neutral territory, and that's where they will begin. Andrews once again out of the pistol. 2 wide receivers out to his left. Big Walnut with 2 linebackers in the box. One showing blitz. Hands it off once again to Armstrong. potentially a tackle for loss as he's right near the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up second down.
Yeah, as you can see down the line, Big Walnut just has that push right now. So I'm interested to see the Wildcats, if they're going to diversify their run blocking or their play calling, because right now they're just kind of going to power to the H-back, and it's not really having a lot of success.
So they do end up losing a yard now into their own territory. Once again, showing blitz from the outside. It's Cole Heisel. Looking to pass, finding a man successfully. The receiver there, Jordan Penny, who's pushed down around the 42-yard line. The line to gain is the 40.
Okay, all right. Take that down. Make a note of that. Second time they did a nice little rollout, play action, and had some success. Seems like they have a little nice slipping in the receiver, kind of get lost in the sauce, especially when Big Walnut throws a blitz towards them. Interesting. It's just a numbers game at that point. There's just not enough people to cover. So it's going to be interesting to see if Big Walnut's still going to throw those blitzes, or if the Wildcats are still going to maybe have a couple hidden receivers.
So getting the man in motion, but instead it'll be Andrews that takes it across the first down marker.
A nice little QB power right there. A little trickery. And as he's able to go up the gut and pick up the first down. That's great.
Crossing the 60-second mark here in the first quarter. So it makes it a district at Berkshire first down on the 39-yard line. We'll need to make it to the 29.
The Wildcats definitely see a little bit more comfortable in this series, right?
Oh, a flag thrown right off the bat.
Yeah, it might be a legal procedure. It seemed like it wasn't set right there.
Yeah, false start. We'll take another look. Looks like maybe not set.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, now they're behind the schedule a little bit. See what they're going to do. I wouldn't be surprised if you see that little play action rollout right here. Kind of get some of those yards back. Or maybe a derivative of that play.
It's been successful for him so far. They have three wide receivers. Rolling out to his left, has space, but looking for the receiver. A dangerous ball almost into the hands of Cole Heisel, but it's over the head of both the receiver and the cornerback.
Okay, next time I call that, you gotta buy me a Coke, all right, Bryce? But that's what we just said right there, huh? And that was they have some success. Kind of just wasn't the best ball, but hey, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to it. Maybe not this drive, but definitely down the line.
So it brings up 2nd and 15 after the incomplete pass. The intended receiver was Deshaun Alston.
Lineups in the trips and motion coming in towards us.
Lining up in the slot off the motion. Armstrong on the delayed handoff picks up maybe a yard, and it'll bring up third down, 3rd and about 5.
Nice little halfback draw right there. Just kind of keep the defense honest, see if they can catch them napping right there. But credit to Big Walnut being able to stay disciplined like we talked about in the pregame show, and to kind of keep everything in front of them and not be fooled by the trickery.
So first quarter of play in the books, and Big Walnut is leading this one 7-0 over Westerville South. Stay with us.
Live and free coverage of Big Walnut Athletics, proudly presented by the Sunbury Fraternal Order of Eagles, serving the community since 1898.
OH.REPORT brings you local high school sports coverage like nobody else. In football, basketball, baseball, volleyball, softball, soccer, wrestling, track and field. If it's happening in our area, we're streaming it.
A big third down situation now. 3rd and 14. We'll need to make it to the 29. Trying to see if they could get some free yardage. No bites, though. 4 wide receiver look. 1 man in the backfield. Gets drilled as he throws, but finds a receiver over the middle, and they're into the red zone all the way down to the 19.
And let's credit the Wildcats, the offensive line, for them to kind of, you saw they threw that A-gap blitz, and credit to Andrews right there, taking a beating while he took that throw, but able to complete the pass, and that's what it takes to be a great quarterback, especially in high school, Bryce.
Hassan Kaba finding the space in coverage to be able to bring that one down, and it's a first down.
And that's what the Wildcats are going to need, to be able to move those chains. And kudos for them for being on schedule, but able to move the chains right there, Bryce. Great pitch and catch. I know the quarterback took a little bit of beating right there, but it's one of those things. It's called football, right?
Yeah. Handing it off to Armstrong again, looking for space along the outside. Gets near the first down marker. Will be at about a yard or two short as he's brought down in play.
This is a good run by Armstrong, being patient. He saw it like, hey, that inside is just not there. Let's bounce it outside. Be able to poke his head through, pick up a couple yards.
So 2nd and 2, the line to gain is the 10.
I'll be interested to see what Big Walnut comes out of this one. You see a lot of blitzes, haven't been able to get home, but they kind of play a little more of their base.
So again, it's Andrews trying to pick it up on the feet, but it looks like he'll be short, bringing up a very short 3rd down.
Good run, like we said. Got to stay disciplined if you're Big Walnut, 3-headed monster, right? Who's going to get the ball, right? It's going to be interesting to see what the play call is going to be for the Wildcats, especially as they're so close in this kind of in the red zone goal line area.
It's got to be 4-down territory, you'd think.
I think so, Bryce. I think so.
The design QB run. He'll get it across and maybe a yard more.
And that's textbook quarterback power right there. As soon as you catch it, run forward, right? Just trying to get anything. Looks like they do get the first down, so pretty good, able to move the chains for the Wildcat offense right there, Bryce.
Interesting for the Wildcat offense as well. This is the first time we're seeing them operate with limited space, so are they able to spread it out?
Definitely. You know, the window's closed a little tighter way in the goal line, so I'm interested to see. Seems like they have some rushing success this drive, but they also have some passing success, so it's going to be interesting. It might hit them with a nice RPO play action. Could be the boot. We'll see.
Oh, blown up in the backfield. Andrews is brought down for a loss. Nowhere to go. Fakes the handoff. Wanted to take it himself, but just no space.
Yeah, it looked like it was a little miscommunication. As you can see, he looked to his left, and there wasn't a running back there. So maybe that was not the design play at hand, but hey, next play.
Makes it 2nd and 11. Or rather, 2nd and goal, so they're spotted on the 11. Alone in the backfield, a 5-wide receiver look. Showing handoff, but instead he'll take it himself again. Looking towards the goal line, takes it all the way down to the 3 or the 4 before he's finally pushed out. They are knocking on the door of that goal line.
Hey, watch. Oh, my goodness, like that arm bar right there. You can definitely tell he's been hitting the gym right there, Bryce. Hit a little bit of the curls for the girls, I'd like to say.
So now a big spot, both sides coming alive. It's 3rd down.
Definitely 4-down territory. Wouldn't be surprised they come out and run right here just to get a little more breathing room so that have some better clarity for the coaches what they call if it does get the 4th down, Bryce.
3rd and goal will need to score, but instead a timeout is called.
Yeah, it definitely looked like they have to think about this one. It's interesting distance, right?
So we will take a quick break. We'll be back with you for the remainder of this drive.
Find more than a place to rent. Find a place to call home with the Champion Companies. Be part of a community where our team goes above and beyond because we want you to love where you live. Visit livewithchampion.com now and see how you can make the district at Berkshire your new home.
after the timeout. Both sides are even with 2. 3rd and goal on the 4-yard line. Big Walnut all the way up front, looking towards the edge, but instead is drilled as he was looking for the line of scrimmage.
And that's a clear textbook example of bend, don't break defense right there. They were trying to turn the corner, and he said, no way, Jose, not in my house.
So they'll give him a yard. It's 4th down and goal. Decision still needing to be made, but we've been betting it's 4-down territory. See if the Wildcats agree. And it looks like they do. Quarterback in the huddle leading.
I wonder what's going to be the $1 million play right here, Bryce. It's going to be interesting.
Score, go home. 4th and 3rd. Oh, but it's Cole Heisel who gets the pass breakup and leads to the turnover on downs. A huge defensive play for the Golden Eagles.
And that's how you protect your home field right there, Bryce. They're getting kind of pushed around in that series a little bit. And they said, no, wait. This is our house, right?
Intended receiver was Hassan Kaba, who already came down with one big one earlier. And I think if that one would have gotten through Heisel, that would have been for sure a touchdown.
Definitely for sure a touchdown. And now, it was just credit to Heisel. Great coverage. He kind of saw it coming in. It was a great man. He kind of took away the inside step from the slant. Great coverage. I mean, to be honest with you, Kaba didn't really have a chance on that one. That was kind of, he was in a seatbelt, I like to say sometimes.
And backs up against the wall now as they hand it off. And fighting for any yardage at all. I don't think they're going to get much. It'll bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, this is definitely just trying to get some breathing room. You know, even if it's not, if it's going to be a quick 3 and out, just get a little room for the punter. But, hey, we'll see what they're going to do. They want to be a little aggressive, or they're just trying to be a little conservative and just not trying to do too much on offense sometimes, you know?
After what they just made it through on defense, I'm sure they'd be happy just to get it away from the goal line.
It's definitely. Shoot, Vamoose, get out of here.
So now on 2nd down, a little bit more, but still not enough for the 1st down. The line to gain is, looks like the 14.
And once again, the Wildcats are just packing the box. They know what Big Walnut wants to do. They know first 2 downs, they're probably not going to do a pass, but I'm interested to see what Big Walnut's going to come out, especially in this next down, what they're going to do. If they're going to put the ball in Stunff's hand to make a play, we'll see.
It's really taking their time to consider this one. Now 15 on the play clock as they're to the line of scrimmage. Oh, finding a man easily. It's Brody Hatfield who picks up the 1st down.
And that's once again complimentary football right there. Play action. We all know what they want to do. And look at that. Look at the flow from the white jerseys, and look where the ball went, right? Great catch by Brody, doing Brody things. And that's how your running back take care of your receiver sometimes, right? All of those plays that Brody had to block for Burley, he kind of got rewarded right there in that catch, right?
So now Stumpf alone in the backfield, perhaps looking to the air again. Indeed he is. Now to his right side. Hatfield can't come up with the long throw.
And that was a simple pitch and catch right there. You know, if you're Brody, you know, just got gassing them out the play before, but you got to catch that one, right? You got to catch that one. It'd be kind of hard to, when you see and hear those footsteps kind of coming towards you. But that's why they pay the big bucks as receiver. You got to catch those, man.
So it makes it 2nd and 10 on the 16-yard line. Burley trying to wait for the blocks to develop, and he does get some yardage. It'll bring up 3rd down all the same.
Definitely. Just a patient runner right here, trying to get something out of nothing, and was able to get a couple yards. Definitely made it more 3rd down and manageable, Bryce. See, I'm interested to see what's going to happen right here. What they've been doing is a play action, quick pass. See, like they're trying to catch him off sides right here.
The snap, play action, finding Hatfield. Once again, good for a first down as he's pushed out of bounds around the 30-yard line.
And that's a good little, nice little bubble art right there. Look at that little fake and a bubble. That man is just him and green grass. That was a nice play right there, a nice catch. Able to move the chains. That's what you're going to need. That's what you're going to need if you're the Big Walnut. Once again, playing that complementary football. Everybody's looking at Burley, but this is when, if you're a receiver, if you can start opening up a little bit. If you make one man miss, who knows? You could be at the casa.
So now relaying along the play, 8 on the play clock as they set. 2 wide receivers out to his right. Once again, we'll look to the air, the pump fake. Now finding another man, it's Dallas Beal. Dallas Beal taking off, changing direction across the 20. He's got a foot race ahead of him, but it's good for a touchdown.
Jeez Louise, Bryce. That is nice pitch and catch. What did I just say right there? Make one man miss, and that's all you can do. He just walked into the casa, man, not even touched. Great play right there.
Well, the awareness just to change direction. 2 white jerseys in front of him, and he just manages to slip between the reach of both of them.
It was like he's kind of getting through the church pews on Sunday, right? Let me get through there real quick. And that was great awareness, like you said, man. That was man, I am kind of speechless right there. The way he kind of was able to cut up right there, that is amazing footwork. Great play by the receiver right there, Bryce.
So lining up for the PAT. Looking to make it a 14-point lead. But instead, they catch a man offsides. That'll give us another chance to look at that fantastic touchdown. But instead, it looks like they're calling on the offensive unit.
We've seen this before, right? Half a distance to the goal. It's like it's in a way, right? They get a little energized when they see that. They start looking at their chops, rubbing their hands together, and another opportunity to get the offense back on the field and put a little more points on the board. I love that from this offense. They want to run it up. They want to make sure you guys know who Big Walnut is after this game.
Looking to make that statement now. Lining up for the 2-point conversion. Hatfield motioning. Letting it come up, and coming down with it is Owen Pollock.
Yes, Bryce. Put it on the top shelf so the little kids can't get it, right? And that's good, man. I love that for the big guy. It's the tight end. He's really able to just, as you can see, Stumpf is going through his progressions. Not there. Why not just put it to my big man up top, man?
So we will take a quick break after that. Big Walnut leading 15-0 over Westerville South.
Find more than a place to rent. Find a place to call home with the Champion Companies. Be part of a community where our team goes above and beyond because we want you to love where you live. Visit livewithchampion.com now and see how you can make the district at Berkshire your new home.
One explosive play at the hands of Dallas Beal, who cut in with the misdirection for his first touchdown of the year, up near the century mark on yardage for the season. Now facing more trouble on the return, it's Jamari Alston, who's been deadly on 2.
That was a great return right there. I think got up to 33, around that over there. Put in positive territory for returns. And I feel like we had this conversation so many times this year, so far. I feel like if you're the Wildcats, you've seen the tape, you know this is kind of the danger zone that you don't want to be. We see a bunch of teams come in here, go or there, and they go down that 0-14. They punt the ball, and next thing they blink their eyes, it's 28-0. right? If they want to be this competitive, they kind of have to put points, I feel like, this drive, or their defense is going to have to kind of, in a way, wake up and stop that Big Walnut offense. But the way that their defense played last series, that's going to be way easier said than done.
Rolling out to his right across the line of scrimmage, looking for any room he can get up to the 44-yard line. It'll be good for a pickup of about 5.
Wow. Once again, just didn't really see anything down the field. Can't get 14 points on one play, right? So good football play. Get some yards, make it a more manageable second down.
So taking a look at the yardage comparison, Westerville South was 67 to Big Walnut's 219.
Jeez Louise.
Tries the hard count, but instead hands it off once again to Armstrong. Gets a yard. It'll bring up 3rd down. The line to gain being the 39, the 44 rather.
And this is a pretty big play call, right? If you move the chains right here, this can get, like we said, that danger zone for your defense.
Now that 3rd and 5 range, I mean, a lot of versatility that the offense could come out with in this look. So far tonight, they're 4 for 9 on 3rd downs.
Empty look, trips to the boundary, Bryce.
5 wide receivers. They get the 1st down, bringing it down across the 50-yard line. The receiver that time was Ian Gordon.
Once again, they had success in this rolling out concept right here. Able to find the open man downfield, able to move the chains in a nice substantial way. Good pickup for the Wildcats.
Andrews officially now 4 for 6 passing on the night. It's good for 43 yards.
Now we got trips to the near side of us, Bryce. It's interesting.
Man crossing in front. Gets whacked right at the line of scrimmage. Will maybe pick up a yard with the forward progress, but really nowhere to go.
Yeah, he ran into a brick wall right there, Bryce. If you can look at that. Look. Oh, yes, they kind of ran into his own guy right there.
Yeah, I'm sure he's saying, maybe hit the gym a little less hard next time. 2nd and 10. On neutral ground at the 50. Play clock at 10. Play still being relayed. Now 5. To the air. A dangerous ball over the head of the intended receiver and almost into the hands of Brody Hatfield. In fact, it was into the hands of Brody Hatfield, but it fell out. Hassan Kaba has been the comfort receiver so far tonight, but that one would have been a tough one for him to come down with.
Yeah, definitely see the vision. I think it was a right read to make, but you just kind of have to put the ball on the money right there. It kind of overthrew him. Definitely seemed like the pressure kind of got to him towards that latter part of the throw, and thank God for, if you're the Wildcats, that was an interception. That could have been bad news bears, Bryce.
Once again, going with the lone backfield. All the time in the world. A basket catch, they say, is going to be incomplete. We'll take another look at that one as it'll bring up 4th down.
It just seems like, their quarterback room, these are some really just interesting throws that the quarterback's making, and I can definitely tell you can see the chemistry with the receivers. I always like to use this expression, simply they've been running routes in the dark, right? They just kind of trusted the timing. 1, 2, 3, he kind of just knew on that flag he was going to be there. Wasn't able to come down with it, but good chemistry, though.
So lining up in the punt formation, looks like that's Brody Hatfield back to receive. Did some dancing earlier, but only picked up about 5 yards. A fantastic punt is received right around the 15-yard line towards his own sideline. He's hit hard by 2 white jerseys. Good to see him up. That was a big tackle.
Yeah, he looked like a heat-seeking missile. As you can see, right? that was a great play by special teams. Able to kind of, it's like once Brody was kind of getting north and south, getting his head on the swivel, and kind of stopped that in his tracks right there.
So while Big Walnut is leading this game, they are losing the time of possession battle by almost 4 minutes.
This is a pretty big defensive stand if you're the Wildcats. If you're able to hold them right here, kind of go into half, if you're the Wildcats, coach, I feel pretty good. But you had to kind of keep them right here. 21-0 is a pretty big deficit, especially how the Big Walnut plays, you know.
So a quick handoff will buy him a few yards. Starting to get into territory where you have to consider the clock and what your intention is going into the locker room. Brings up 2nd and 4. We'll need to make it to the 40. Finding a receiver, Gavin Harrington, buys them a first down.
Good pitch and catch. Seem like they're running their 2-minute offense. Not trying to burn the timeouts. 1, 2, 3, sideline, get out of bounds. Let's conserve these. It looks like they're going to try and put some points on the board, Bryce, as they always will do. It's not the first time that Big Walnut's been in this position this season. And they are known, especially before half, to score very quickly.
Indeed they are. As we cross the 3-minute mark, Burley has been quiet so far. Spins out but runs right into a white jersey. It'll bring up 2nd down.
This is good. If you're the Wildcats, this is good. Okay, 2nd, and I feel like you're a little bit behind the chains. If not, they're behind schedule right now. This is a pretty big 2nd down if they want to kind of keep the composure right now for the series.
Looking for a receiver. Not able to bring it down, it looks like. The intended receiver that time being Jack Rigg. Yeah, just off the chest of the receiver, it brings up a long 3rd down.
And I'm interested to see what Big Walnut's going to come out in this play right here. If they're going to try to just run it, trying to run the clock out, or get a little aggressive and trying to move the chains, get some points on the board.
2 for 4 on 4th down. The ball comes out, and they'll just salvage what they can. Make it now 2 for 5 on 3rd down. That one dangerous.
That one was almost a disaster, right? Almost a disaster right there. And it's looking like they're just going to call a timeout, and it's going to be the Wildcats. Give them about around 2 minutes, 9 seconds to get some offense, maybe try to put some points up on the board.
So timeout indeed called by the Wildcats here with 2:09 remaining in the 2nd quarter. And something that we were talking about is these teams are very similar in style, both offensively and defensively.
Definitely, right? And especially on offense. They kind of do that H-back pull, kind of like, I'll say 10 smack concept right there. I definitely say Big Walnut has a little more success tonight, but they definitely can see that the game plan is very similar. They want to attack the run to open up the game for the passing. I think you can see that on both sides of the ball, able to kind of air it out a little bit. But definitely more for Big Walnut, but very similar, very similar. It's going to be kind of interesting. It's going to be the adjustments going into half, Bryce.
So 4th and 11, they'll punt it away. 2 men back to receive the punt. Burley kicking that one hard and high. Bounces right around the 28, and that's where it will go out of bounds with no return. So you hear the band warming up. Be sure to stay with us through halftime for the band show as well as the halftime show. That one, of course, as always here for Big Walnut, brought to you by the Complete Air Systems Heating and Cooling LLC. So after the punt, operating inside of 2 minutes, a minute 57 to be exact, we'll need to show some urgency, but not a terrible position if the Wildcats want to get on the board before the half.
And they had some success going downfield, right? They were in the red zone a couple times and just not able to capitalize. They could definitely get down there, but just like you said, capitalizing on those chances, especially against this Big Walnut team. They don't give a lot of teams too many chances to get even with them. So when they do, you got to capitalize on them.
So now with a minute 52 as he gets out of bounds, it'll bring up 2nd down and 6.
Got boundaries to trips to the boundaries right there, Bryce.
Able to salvage some yardage, enough for a 1st down on that quick pass. It'll keep the chains moving.
That's a great catch right there. 1, 2, 3, drop step, get the ball out your hands. Pretty textbook right there, Bryce.
Minute 30 remaining, stepping up in the pocket and able to pick up a big gain of 8 while the clock continues to move, but that's what they're going to need. They have 1 timeout to their record.
And that's as you can see, and the receivers on top of your screen, that's a quarterback draw right there. Had no intention to go out for a pass, kind of just, hey, fool them real quick, and as you can see, Andrew's able to make a nice pickup.
Looking deep into a couple of guys, but can't come down with the interception. The 3rd time tonight, it's off the hands of a Golden Eagle.
And that it doesn't get much better than that if you're a DB, right? That's the one you kind of think about as you go about to go to sleep, Bryce, and as it hits his hands, I think that was Burley, and that's going to be one you wish you can get back, Bryce.
It's a tough one for sure.
Definitely. He's probably thinking about the touchdown he's going to score after the interception, but you got to catch it first. You got to secure it.
So it brings up 3rd and 2 on the 47, need to make it to the 49. Up the gut, and he's not going to find any room at all as it brings up 4th down, 4th, and I think he just got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to let this one kind of play. They might even take a delay of game for this one to kind of get some more room for the punt, but it's looking like this is a dead mission on offense, and probably just going to take this bad boy to halftime, Bryce.
Not a terrible idea, just to bleed as much time off the clock as you can. You know how explosive Big Walnut can be on offense. Just why not give them as little time as possible?
Definitely, definitely.
I think they're, in fact, even going to burn their last timeout here at 1 on the play clock. And indeed, that's what they do. So with 17 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter, stay with us as we take a quick break.
Find more than a place to rent. Find a place to call home with the Champion Companies. Be part of a community where our team goes above and beyond because we want you to love where you live. Visit livewithchampion.com now and see how you can make the district at Berkshire your new home.
Now with 17 seconds remaining here in the 2nd quarter, on 4th down, they're going to punt it away. Back to receive is Brody Hatfield. A good punt is fielded off of 1 hop, crossing the 20. He's wrapped up, looking to change directions, changing directions once again, but not going to be much time at all as there's just 2 seconds. A lot of times in these scenarios, we just see Coach Krager knee it out.
Yeah, no need to take a risk right here when you're up 14-0, Bryce. But who knows? You might feel a little dangerous this morning or this evening and take a shot.
We'll see which way they decide to go. As always, be sure to stay with us through halftime as we bring you the band show and the halftime show. So they do just take a knee, and that means after 2 quarters of play, Big Walnut leading this one 15-0 over Westerville South. Stay with us for the halftime and band show coming up next.
Live and free coverage of Big Walnut Athletics proudly presented by the Sunbury Fraternal Order of Eagles, serving the community since 1898.
This place means everything to us. This is where we come together. We do all of our birthdays out here. We grill hamburgers and hot dogs. We fish. I was about to give up. I was about to think that the property wasn't going to become mine. Rural First specializes in solving the problems. I made the call, and the rest is history. It was done. It made everything easy, questions answered, walked me through the process. It was done. When I'm here, just feel peace. That's all it means to me. Peace.
OH.REPORT brings you local high school sports coverage like nobody else. In football, basketball, baseball, volleyball, softball, soccer, wrestling, track and field. If it's happening in our area, we're streaming it.
Is proud to present a portion of their 2025 production, Somnio. Soloists include Sushir Adhikari, clarinet, Manny Mariscal, clarinet, Kai Bell, alto saxophone, Bailey Cavender, alto saxophone, Daniel Rickman, baritone saxophone, Nolan Beatty, trombone, and Tommy Wolf, baritone. Please welcome the Westerville South High School Marching Band. wishes both teams and the Big Walnut Band best of luck. Go Cats! How about one more round of applause for the Wildcat Marching Band?
gentlemen, led onto the field by Field Commander Sam Ribby, please welcome the pride of Big Walnut Golden Eagle Marching Band. Ladies and gentlemen, the pride of Big Walnut Golden Eagle Marching Band would like to open with a 2000 blockbuster hit from Bon Jovi, featuring trumpet soloist Bryce. Here is It's My Life. In 1970, this single was Elton John's first top 10 hit. Featuring horn soloist Connor Chadwick, this is Your Song. song made popular in the movie Cars. And now we conclude our halftime performance with the song made popular in the movie Cars. Produced and sung by Rascal Flatts, here is Life is a Highway.
Live and free coverage of Big Walnut Athletics, proudly presented by the Sunbury Fraternal Order of Eagles, serving the community since 1898.
This place means everything to us. This is where we come together. We do all of our birthdays out here. We grill hamburgers and hot dogs. We fish. I was about to give up. I was about to think that the property wasn't going to become mine. Rural First specializes in solving the problems. I made the call, and the rest is history. It was done. It made everything easy, questions answered, walked me through the process. It was done. When I'm here, just feel peace. That's all it means to me. Peace.
OH.REPORT brings you local high school sports coverage like nobody else. In football, basketball, baseball, volleyball, softball, soccer, wrestling, track and field. If it's happening in our area, we're streaming it.
We'd like to thank all of our sponsors who support our live and free coverage right here on the OH Report. Complete Air Systems Heating and Cooling LLC. If you want a locally owned HVAC company with over 35 years experience to do top quality work without cutting corners, call Complete Air Systems Heating and Cooling. Wing at 740-345-2021. Sunbury Christian, it's about relationship, not religion. Sunbury Fraternal Order of Eagles, 3614. Serving the Sunbury community and proud supporter of Big Walnut football. New members are always welcome. Reichert Express Sunbury. Shop Reichert Used Cars right here in Sunbury at Reichert Express Used Cars, right next to Tanger Outlets. We're dealing. Stover Excavating Incorporated, residential and commercial excavation services for the greater Columbus area since 2000. The District at Berkshire, find more than a place to rent, find a place to call home at the District at Berkshire. Brand new 1 and 2 bedroom apartment homes now available. BS Media Productions. Need a commercial to showcase your business or promote that you're hiring? BS Media Productions is the most affordable, high-quality production company in North Central Ohio. Find them on Facebook. Rule First. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Rule First, the leader in rural lending. Rule First can help you live closer to what matters. The Complete Air Systems Heating and Cooling LLC halftime show, and Big Walnut leading the way after 2 quarters of play in this one. And so far, I mean, it's been kind of slow for both teams.
Definitely, because it's one of those games where the score is going to tell a big story, because the Wildcats definitely have a lot of good offensive guys. So there's definitely been some moments. I kind of want to say like
first downs 144, passing yards, even rushing yards over 225. No turnovers, 2 for 9 penalties. And so different with the things where Big Walnut is really excelling much more through the air. Typically it's Nolan Burley taking things away.
Definitely. Stumpf is having a good game, especially airing it out. I mean, and give credit to the receivers. They've been catching some really good balls, you know, so it's just one of those things, complimentary football. Big Walnut's been doing a lot of play actions, just been opening up the passing game for them.
So taking a look at Stumpf's numbers, 6 for 8 on the night, 144 passing yards for a touchdown, no interceptions, and hasn't succumbed to a sack so far tonight either.
I know, man. Is it too late to get him on my fantasy team? Man, he's been having a great half, 140-something yards. That is always a great start, especially as your quarterback. Probably won't need, if they kind of keep up this pace, won't need to pass the ball as much as often, but we'll see how the Wildcat defense kind of comes out to this one, Bryce.
So taking a look at the offense for the Wildcats through those 24 minutes of play, and Evan Andrews is 5 for 10 on the night with 61 passing yards. He's also the team's leading rusher with 21 yards on 10 rushes.
Yeah, the offense is, like we said, had a little success. You know, they had some really good field position, just haven't been able to capitalize at all. So hopefully they're able to come out, see what they can do, especially here on offense, starting off.
So the thorn in the side of the Wildcats has been Eli Helton with 9 tackles on the night.
Gee Louise. And that's just a great, and a half, Bryce, and a half. That's usually a full game stat. So he's definitely revving up. I can see on the horizon that he's going to have a great game.
Already off to that hot start. This time the tackler was Brady Taylor. Taylor, that's his 17th tackle on the year. Out of the gun with a little bit of time, finding a man over the middle, off to a race, but hit right along the Big Walnut sideline and pushed out just short of the 50-yard line.
This is a good read, especially by Andrews right here. And that's a great rack for number 12, Hassan Kaba. As he was able to kind of bring it in and pick up some extra yards after the catch. That was perfect for a receiver right there, Bryce.
So it buys them a district at Berkshire first down.
And I will say this about the Wildcat defense. They're able to get out of their own territory. It just seemed like around this neutral zone, things kind of like sometimes stall out for their offense.
Just engulfed by the sea of black jerseys right around the line of scrimmage. I think they're going to give him a tackle for loss, perhaps. No, they'll just put him right back on the line of scrimmage for no gain.
And that was a great feel and flow from the Big Walnut defense right there. Way to shut it down, especially after that big play.
Going with the hard count, trying to draw someone off sides. That has been a weak point for Big Walnut, but it's an issue that I think they've cleaned up to this point.
Yeah, definitely. Staying disciplined, right? And they have been pretty much for us, not only on those play calls, but also in those plays right there, as you can see. That's a quarterback draw. And they're not getting fooled. They're not thinking it's a pass. They're staying in their lanes and able to really just cut the head off the snake as soon as it kind of got slidden down the hole, Bryce.
And buys some space into enemy territory just by about 3 feet or so, but all the same, it brings up 3rd and 7. They'll need to get it to the 42 in order to convert.
All right, we got trips to the field of us right now, Bryce. It's going to be interesting to see what the play call is going to be for the Wildcats.
5 for 11 on 3rd downs. Now with room. Puts his head down and breaks a tackle. Picks up the first down by about 2 yards, and the chains will move.
That's great. That's something that we kind of really didn't see in the first half, Bryce. He kind of just was more downhill right there. It seemed like he was more aggressive attacking the hole. And it was one of those things where he was able to find a hole, attack it, and pick up the first down. Kudos to Andrews right there.
So now going with an empty backfield look. We've seen this several times so far tonight. First down ruled down on the 40.
Wouldn't be surprised to go to that rollout scheme, Bryce.
Exactly that. Pop just short of the first down marker, but it is pretty nice gain there. That one to Owen Eschenauer.
And that's a great bubble screen right there. You can see Andrews, as soon as he catches that bad boy, boom, pow, right in his hands, put him in space, make your players make plays right there. That's classic.
So great progress here in the inaugural drive of the second half.
Definitely moving the chains. This is what you want to see if you're the Wildcats coming out.
This time out of the pistol. Looking to the air once more. Oh, this one online. A beautiful ball to Armstrong.
That's a beautiful play. A great play action right there. To kind of hit him with that little sneaker right there. Let's call it. I like it. I like the sneaker right there because as you can see, he kind of has the play action. The defense kind of loses track of him, and right underneath, I'll say a wheel, and he hits it right above top, puts it right in the breadbasket. Nice little pass right there for Andrews.
I mean, I thought maybe the defensive back was going to have a play at it, but no, I mean, that one was placed so well.
I think he was kind of watching it all, too. It was like, no way, Jose, that gets there. And then when it did, he was also pretty surprised. So,
trying to take it up the middle on the designed QB rush. But I think he's going to be tackled for a loss. He'll bring up 2nd and goal.
Yeah, he definitely kind of ran into that Big Walnut defensive line right there, right? As soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, he kind of just got hit in the face with something that he's definitely not going to look back on and think of a very favorable play right there. He's going to feel that one tomorrow morning, Bryce.
So down on the 8. towards the pylon, covered tightly. Hatfield with the breakup.
That was a nice bang play, letting them play right there, Bryce. You kind of throw it up. That's anybody's ball right there. And Hatfield said, no, not in my house. Great breakup by the Big Walnut defense.
So 3rd and goal, still on the 8-yard line. We saw this once before where they're in 4-down territory, and so that one I thought maybe he was going to be out of bounds, but it looks like he just managed to get that toe down.
Definitely. It looked like he kind of looked like basketball boxed him out right there and able to kind of get a rebound up atop. Good play by Cabo. Good play.
So a flag is going to be thrown pre-snap.
You know, Bryce, that is exactly what the Wildcats needed. They came out, you know, especially towards the end of the half, last quarter. It seemed a little defeated. They wanted to get some points, weren't able to do so. For them to kind of march downfield and to not only get back in the scoring position, but actually put some points on the board, this feels like a little different game right now, right?
Certainly sucking the wind out of the home side. They are quiet, getting in quick for the field goal, but to no avail as that one's through. So now score 15-7 with Big Walnut leading the way after the first drive of the second half.
Find more than a place to rent. Find a place to call home with the Champion Companies. Be part of a community where our team goes above and beyond because we want you to love where you live. Visit livewithchampion.com now and see how you can make the district at Berkshire your new home.
So the plot thickens as we're back to a 1-score game. A huge touchdown for the Wildcats. Puts them within 8.
And sometimes when you see your offense go out and score like that, that can kind of re-energize your defense, knowing, okay, let's get them. All right, let's help these guys out. They can put the ball in the end zone. Let's see if let's give them another shot and see if they can do it again.
So a short kick is fielded by a big man, just short of the 40 at the 39 is where Big Walnut will begin their first drive of the second half. And of course on this one, the big play was the reception. We'll take another look at that one. And just managing to get a foot in. We'll see one more time. Oh, man, just elevates that left foot to keep it off the ground so the right could hit in home.
Put it on the top shelf. That has been the common mantra of this game, right? Just so the little kids can't go and get it.
So Hatfield in a sprint, but Burley gets the ball instead with the first down. Just slowed down enough for them to make the tackle, but if that wouldn't have happened, I think Burley would have had himself a long touchdown.
Very, very long. And this is usually when the defenders get a little tired of him, right? He's a big guy. You don't really want to tackle him. You sit down, and all of that kind of juices get sitting in your body, and then you kind of have to go back out there and tackle this big guy up front, right? This is one that we've always been saying this whole season. It's kind of getting Burley time. It's getting one of those things, kind of wearing down the defense. I want to see how this Wildcat defense is going to respond right here.
So out of the pistol, Burley sent away, though. We've seen this before, finding him in the backfield. Essentially just a run into the 25 and table-topped at the 22.
And that's, like you said, it's basically just a run. But it looks different than the inside zone. Just getting your players in space, making them make plays. That's what football players do, right? And credit to Burley right there, doing what he does best, picking up a first down, moving the chains, and making the defender pay at the end of it.
Motion man coming set. Burley again. Burley good for yards again.
It just seems like they keep on doing it, man. Chop, 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 getting first down after first down after first down. The Wildcats defense just does not seem to have an answer for him, Bryce, right now for Burley, and they're going to need to find what they want to come out with W with this game, Bryce.
Burley now surpassing the century mark, 103 yards on 10 carries.
Bryce, could you imagine? Last week he had 4 more carries and had almost 150 more yards.
Burley on the power, inches closer. The yard to gain is the 10-yard line, and that'll put him at 1st and goal, but it brings up 3rd down now after they're just short by about a yard.
And if you're Big Walnut right here, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. You know what you're going to do. If everybody in the stadium knows what we're going to do, let's give it to number 3, right, Bryce?
I think so. It certainly worked out for him in the past.
Yeah.
But even earlier on in this game, I mean, they gave it off to him in a 3rd and 1 situation. He wasn't able to find anything. But instead, it's Stumpf who picks up the 1st down and runs out of bounds at the 6-yard line. The pump fake made it look like he was going to find a guy, but there was really nobody in the vicinity.
And the defense just know that. A little whoopsie daisies. Look at that. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Defense a little scared, a little like, what's going on? Kind of catch your bearings, and Stumpf's able to get the 1st down. That's nice.
District at Berkshire. 1st down, and it's 1st and goal on the 7-yard line. Rolling out, Stumpf once again looking to the goal line. Give it to him. Eli Stumpf in for 6. Had only had 1 rushing touchdown before this, but now has a pair, I believe.
Definitely double that bad boy for this game, and credits to him. As you can see, he's kind of just, as he's kind of reading the defense, trying to find that soft spot right there, kind of faking the handoff, little pump flake right there, and able to easy. Put a little mustard into that, Bryce. You like to see that if you're as a quarterback.
Talk about operating in a limited space. I mean, the creativity to just find that. So now someone else lining up for the kick, but it's straight into the line. No good. So we will take a quick break after the touchdown, but Big Walnut back on top by 2 scores, 21-7 over Westerville South.
Find more than a place to rent. Find a place to call home with the Champion Companies. Be part of a community where our team goes above and beyond because we want you to love where you live. Visit livewithchampion.com now and see how you can make the district at Berkshire your new home.
We are back here in the 3rd quarter, and Big Walnut squarely back on top. Going out of bounds.
So, I haven't really seen that since week 1, Bryce.
It was one we saw quite a bit. I think that was Nolan Burley on the kickoff.
It's like Big Walnut's kind of been throwing some different jerseys, kicking the ball tonight. Might be trying something new around here, right, Bryce? Or it's interesting to see. You might want to keep tabs on that as the game goes on.
Well, it does worry me a little bit because Jake Neff absent on the PAT and now the kickoff. Down there on the sideline, he is doing some drills but not subbing in on defense like he typically does at strong safety. So I hope he's okay and just working out a few kinks.
Definitely. Maybe just kind of as we sit back from halftime, got a little tight. Hopefully everything's okay down there, Bryce.
So a quick pass along the left hash marks results in what looks like maybe a 1st down.
Yeah, typical 3-step drop, finding the open receiver. Great play by number 13, Owen Eschkenauer pick up the first.
With the lone backfield, trying the hard count once again. Play clock not showing a time. Almost taken down in the backfield, but Armstrong stays on his feet.
And that's great poise by Armstrong right there. Able to stay balanced, could have been a big tackle for loss, but stay upright and get a couple to make it a second and manageable.
So now 2nd and 7. They'll have to make it to the 44 to convert. Very fond of this lone backfield look.
Had success in it early on in this half, Bryce. Interesting to see what they go into this play call right here.
So the completion leads to a first down, and the chain gang takes a walk.
It's seeming like the Wildcats are kind of just getting away from the run on in general, right? You haven't had much success today. So they're trying to spread the Big Walnut defense out and create a play. That's a pretty good read right there by Andrews, Bryce.
So now with a man in protection, but still 4 wide receivers at his disposal. Up the middle.
Another quarterback run.
And
QB draw.
needed 1, but got a mile more as he picks up the first down. 3 minutes remaining here in the 3rd quarter and ticking.
You definitely can see that the Wildcats been watching films. Urgency, right? They're not trying to take too long in the series. Try to get the ball back on defense to get stops so they can get the ball back on offense.
So now coming set. Once again with the run. Showing pass, and off of that delay, utilizing the room in front of him to just gobble up that extra yardage.
And once again, it's just that quarterback draw. You know, you got to stay home if you're a Big Walnut. It can be real easy, especially as they're kind of spreading things out to kind of get into that passing mindset. But they need to stay disciplined. This guy, they're kind of throwing everything at him. QB draw, quick pass reads. I will be careful for Big Walnut. They might take a shot.
In the backfield, they'll keep it, but this one blown up for a loss. A huge tackle.
And they read that bad boy like a book on a bubble screen right there. As you can see, the number 12 from Big Walnut just kind of screaming down and able to just blow that up before they even had a chance to think about anything positive on offense right there, Bryce.
Cole Heisel with the tackle.
Is that number 10 right there? It looks like it.
Dropping back to pass over the middle. Kaba with the completion just short of the red zone.
Man, every time we see Kaba out here making a route, man, he seems like he's running routes on air right now. There's just nobody around him. And that's just the separation he's getting on offense, man. Kudos to him.
Almost 20 yards per catch in this one so far.
Whew. Looking like Devontae Smith out there on the Eagles, Bryce.
Kudos to the offensive line of Westerville South as well. They've been buying so much time for their quarterback and just creating so many holes for him to utilize on those design QB runs. He thinks about it again, but from behind he gets taken down.
And that's just irony sometimes. You give a lot of people praise, and that's what happens with the sack. You know, kudos once again to the Westerville Wildcats for able to kind of have a good protection. It's just not on that play particularly, but outside of that for this series, they've been doing a pretty good job. But right there, not so much.
So they're on the 25. They'll need to make it to the 12 to convert, so it's 2nd and 13. But it looks like they are just going to allow time to expire here in the 3rd quarter. So Big Walnut still in charge after 3 quarters, 21-7 over Westerville South. Stay with us for the conclusion of this game coming up next.
This place means everything to us. This is where we come together. We do all of our birthdays out here. We grill hamburgers and hot dogs. We fish. I was about to give up. I was about to think that the property wasn't going to become mine. Rural First specializes in solving the problems. I made the call, and the rest is history. It was done. It made everything easy. Questions answered, walked me through the process. It was done. When I'm here, just feel peace. That's all it means to me. Peace.
So starting off the 4th quarter to pass, and Armstrong, who has been hot on the feet, unable to bring down the catch. So it brings up 3rd down, 3rd and 13 to be exact, flipping the field. So they do have to get down to the 12 in order to convert.
And you got to bring that one in, especially when you're down big like that. Got to make a play, Bryce. You know, that's going to be one that Armstrong wish he has back. But had to have a goldfish mindset right now. Quick, got to forget it, on to the next play.
3 wide receivers to his left, 2 to his right. Buying time, finding a receiver, 1st down, and inside of the 10.
Wow. Andrew is reading this defense and going through his progressions. That is some really high-level stuff right there. As you can see, he's going through his progressions. Not there, not fair, right there. I think that was Armstrong. Was that Armstrong again? Able the redemption catch? Love to see that. Love to see that, Bryce.
With 12 first downs on the game for Westerville South.
Hey, say what you want. They've been moving to change this game. They just haven't been able to capitalize on all of it.
8 for 18 in 3rd down situations. Towards the end zone. It's a jump ball. Swatting it out, number 21 with the breakup. That one, Owen Horba.
And if you're Big Walnut, you want to take some pride in that, right? They're basically trying to say, hey, our guys are better than your guys in that jump ball situation. And I know probably after that last touchdown, their defensive coordinator probably gave them a little earful, say, hey, guys, they're in our backyard. We have to take a stand on that one.
So 2nd and goal. Ball on the 10 with pressure, but intended receiver not there. Looks like he was way offline. It was Isaac Patterson. Well after the ball came in.
Yeah.
A hit too.
He definitely paid for that one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. This obviously probably 4 down territory right here. Wouldn't be surprised if they kind of go back to that quarterback draw just to kind of get closer and make it 4th down and 4th and goal more manageable. Yep.
Stepping up in the pocket, but not finding anything. Instead, he'll be sacked in the backfield. Give the credit to TJ Miner.
And like I said before, his last name doesn't really reflect his presence on the field because his minor but really big presence, right? Once again, that is just making a rough day out for the quarterback for the Wildcats. Miner's doing big things as always.
Matsiniano also in on that one, causing trouble. So the ball on the 12. 4th and goal.
This is a very awkward spot for the coaching staff for the Wildcats, Bryce. You got to get points. A field goal doesn't really do you much good, and unfortunately, I'm going to say fortunately, they're going to have to go for this in a very 4th and goal long situation.
Lining up with the man in the backfield. A change of pace, 2 wide receivers on either side. This one towards the end zone. Kaba can't bring it down. This one incomplete, and it's a turnover on downs.
And that's a great stand by the Big Walnut defense. Definition of bend but don't break. Great breakup right there. They love that play, especially in this. He had him, just wasn't able to connect in a late breakup. Great play by the Big Walnut defense, Bryce.
So the Stonewall in effect as the offense for Big Walnut takes over with a 2-score lead.
And if you're the Wildcats, you kind of had to go for that, right? And it's not ideal what you had to do, but you had a shot. And kind of had to ask your defense for another big ass and just kind of get out the field and hopefully manage some type of clock so you can kind of go down and get a quick score and make this a one-possession game, Bryce.
And I think here, you kind of have had an answer for Burley. He's been able to break off a couple of big runs, but kept him pretty quiet so far. They give it to him again. He's brought down at the 15.
And that's crazy how we can think, a running back having a over 100-yard game is somewhat containing him.
Pretty quiet, yeah.
But that's just to show how great Nolan Burley is. He's one of those great players that you can't really stop him sometimes, but you got to just slow him down. But it's one of those things, if you're the Wildcat defense, you're going to have to get them in obvious pass situations and try to capitalize on that. Hopefully, if they can get a stop here second down, they'll be able to do that, but we'll see.
To Burley again. The outside linebacker is getting in there quick, and right at the line of scrimmage, he's stuffed.
All righty, so it's third down. I will probably say it's a little longer than what Big Walnut would like to have. But if you're the Wildcats, you have to get off the field right here. If Big Walnut moves the chains, it's going to be kind of hard to that's going to be probably 2 or 3 minutes more off the clock they're going to choose. So it's a pretty big third down right here, Bryce.
34.34% from a third down efficiency this season. Somewhere they've been struggling. Rolling out, Stumpf.
Okay, playing a little backyard football right there.
Finally letting it open up, finding a receiver, and it's a completion for a first down.
All righty, that's some definitely draw a play up in the mud type of play right there, Bryce. A little backyard football right there. As you can see, going through his progressions, doesn't look great, kind of flip the field, something that the coaches don't want you to do, but when it works out, hey, it's not a problem. So you love to see that. Kudos to Big Walnut's offense. Kudos to the offensive line right there for buying him the time. And if you're the Wildcats defense, that is kind of heartbreaking, and you want to get off the field, but you have another shot right here.
So brought down in the backfield is Tiquan Bunting. Yeah, we say it in chess, you really got to know the fundamentals in order to break the fundamentals, and that's exactly what it was. Where, taking advantage of that space, even though it's against that common wisdom, it worked out for him.
Exactly, right. Sometimes you can go against coach's wishes if you get the first down. Don't tell him I said that, though. But, hey, when it works, it works. He's probably not going to hear about that one, but
So now with a more condensed look, looking for Bunting in the backfield again. Makes the completion and falls at the 31.
And I like the nice change of pace by Bunting. He's kind of more of a bang-bang kind of back. Get a little, especially now the defense is a little worn down. It's late in the fourth quarter. Those hits that Burley kind of had earlier in the game, starting to feel them in their shoulder pads, and Bunting's kind of coming in for his nice change of pace. Kind of catch him napping, so.
For a wide receiver look. Rolling out, Stumpf has been successful on his feet. He'll pick up just a couple of yards before he runs out, and it brings up fourth down.
And that's pretty good coverage by the Wildcats. It's going to force the Big Walnut Golden Eagles to punt this bad boy. A good defensive series right there, especially after they move the chains. Putting your offense in a great position to hopefully get a score.
So lining up for the punt, it's Nolan Burley who will be punting it away. He'll be punting into 2 Wildcats who are back. And oh my gosh, what a punt. This is a beautiful spiral inside of the 20. It takes a huge backspin, which is unfortunate because that was a great punt.
Yeah, I mean, even though it took the backspin, that's still within the 20. I mean, hey, I feel like Pat McAfee will definitely give his thumbs up on that one.
I mean, he turned it over. That was incredible.
Yeah. Jeez, man, doesn't get much better than that. Well, I will say the Wildcats offense has a lot of work out for them up front, and see if they're able to move the chains. Once again, it's pretty heartbreaking when you're able to get down there so close and just not able to turn into points. But hopefully that may re-energize them to say, hey, we did it before. Let's do it again. We still have a lot of time left, not too much. We got to be a little urgent, but we have a shot, guys, and that's what we ask. That's what we ask our defense to do.
So putting the Wildcats in a tough spot. There's 7:12 remaining. They'll have a ways to go. Consumed at the line of scrimmage, or rather just 2 yards short of it. That's a loss.
Yeah, and that's definitely kind of a feeler right there. They've been kind of airing it out a lot, especially that last series. Kind of got away from the run. Got to keep the defense honest right there, Bryce.
Once again, going with the lone backfield look. They definitely need the yards. But going with the hard count. I mean, really taking a lot of time here. I don't think the play clock is working, but the back judge still has a stopwatch. They have to be getting close.
Definitely.
Getting the snap off. Going with a different look at quarterback. Ooh. Intercepted! So betting on the pass, but instead at the other end of that one, it was Brady Taylor.
And definitely, I don't really see what he saw down there. It seemed like it was a lot of big walnuts around him right there. It kind of put a blanket over him. That was pretty great coverage by Big Walnut defense, Bryce.
And I think it's, you know, like a case of that being the comfort receiver. They saw Kaba. He had already come down with a really impressive grab. And when you really have no options, you turn to any option, I guess.
And that's what you do, right? Kaba has a couple great catches. And I can see the vision, trying to throw the ball a little shorter so he can kind of make a play. But when you overthrow him like that and there's 3 Big Walnut jerseys around him, that is going to be probably the play 9 out of 10 times. Bryce.
And that was the 4th time that's happened. 3 previous times they dropped it. This time, a different story.
Definitely. And kind of looked like it was, I wouldn't say desperation, but they were just trying to get a play. They was kind of deep in their own territory, trying to make something happen. And something did happen, just not in their favor.
So picking up a yard in the process off of a Nolan Burley rush.
And if you're Big Walnut, this is exactly what you want. This is the game plan. This is what we've been talking about since Monday. We're up 2 scores. We're pushing these guys around on offense. Let's just close the game, right, Bryce? Let's get out of here. Let's start ordering some Kenya combos.
So really chewing that clock. Burley stopped in the backfield. A good job of getting in on that one. Tackler this time, London Vickroy.
And it definitely seems like the Wildcat offense has found, especially in the second half, a way to slow down Burley a little extra, right? It just seems like he hasn't been able to get going. And it's kind of putting the Big Walnut offense in some obvious passing situations. Let's see if the Wildcat defense is able to capitalize on it and get the ball back for their offense.
So spreading it out a little bit. Hatfield crossing center. He was the first read. Just trying to get over the line of scrimmage. He gets even more. He's close to the first down marker.
I think he might get it, Bryce. I think he might get it.
So what a gain there by Eli Stumpf. Stumpf, who coming into this game was -9 yards. Now as the quarterback, has 31 so far in this game.
And I told you multiple times throughout the season, I feel like this was overdue if anything. Stumpf has been having pretty good games managing the game, kind of managing the team in general. But it seemed like this game, he kind of took a step forward and said, hey, I know they kind of put my man Burley in the box, but don't worry, we're a two-headed dragon over here. We got some weapons on offense.
Out of the pistol, giving him the versatility. Staying on his feet is Burley. Picks up another District at Berkshire first down.
And this is where the Big Walnut offense it's just not fair anymore, right? It's just they're kind of getting like the big kid on the playground. You know what they're going to do. They're going to try to push you around, make you not feel that great. Doing some good things in offense, especially those big guys up front. Kudos to them.
So the 21-yard line is the next target. Once again lining up in the pistol. Burley behind him. Pollock in motion. Two linebackers in the box, two showing blitz. Burley to the outside, jukes inside.
Oh, he's still going, Bryce.
Outside with the spin move, make it two, all the way inside of the 15-yard line, give him another first down.
And here it comes. Tick, tick, tick. You know what time it is, Bryce. It's Burley time. This is where he gets his money. This is where he wants you at. And it just feels like this Wildcat defense is at the mercy of the Big Walnut offense.
Burley nearing the 150-yard mark. A wide look for the offense. Inside linebacker blitzing, but missed the gap. Burley shakes and bakes, but doesn't get much at all.
All right, guys, I want you guys to look at this next play. This is what I mean when it's Burley time. Look at the defense. They do not want to tackle him. As you can see, there's been a lot of broken tackles these last couple series. Look at that. Oop, man. That's one of those things as a defense. You're just a little tired. You've been tackling this guy all game. He's a big guy, like we've been saying, and he just doesn't want to go down, especially during this time.
Averaging 7.7 yards per carry. I think it's the yards after contact that makes all the difference for him.
You know, it's just one of those things, especially as the defense is deflating. You got some stops, and offense hasn't been able to capitalize off those stops. And now as the game's getting kind of into the latter part of it, it's kind of disheartening if you're the defense.
Inside of 2 minutes, they've managed to burn over 4 minutes off the clock here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Bryce, if you're the Wildcats, unfortunately, it's not looking like too much more you can do on this one. It's looking like the Big Walnut offense is kind of going to do what they want to do at the end of this game.
It looks like the student section is clearing out. I wonder if they're going to storm the field after this. Yeah, there they go to the back.
Yeah, Bryce is looking like this is a nice little hometown welcome back. It's been a minute since they see their Big Walnut Golden Eagles back on their home turf, and I could definitely tell that they're pretty excited, especially see a nice little win today, Bryce. Kudos to them. You know what they say, Bryce, there's no party like a Golden Eagle party, because the Golden Eagle party doesn't stop.
I mean, you see these folks coming onto the field. They're still filing in from the student section all the way at the other 10-yard line. They have packed this place out.
Yeah, hey, it's just one of those games, right? Kind of seeing one of your, I wouldn't call them an in-city rival, but it's always just nice being able to get a win against some people on the other side of the town, right, Bryce?
So much history, yeah.
Nice little bragging rights, especially for the weekend.
Burley can't believe it, but he stays on his feet after that hit, gets close to the first down marker, but he'll be just short. It'll bring up fourth down. And a timeout is called by Westerville South. So kudos to them, still trying to keep this one alive. 1:13 remaining in the fourth quarter, but if they could pull off a upset here with this little time remaining, I mean, this place would erupt.
I mean, I think we all would be in disbelief, Bryce, right? That will definitely mean send this push into ESPN ASAP.
Would take a series of very unfortunate events for the Golden Eagles to lose this one.
A lot of botched plays. I mean, they can score, what, 21 points in a minute 13 seconds. I mean, that'd be kind of crazy. Really, really crazy.
Be sure to stay with us after the conclusion of this one as we bring you the MVP interview as well as the complete Air Systems Heating and Cooling LLC post-game show. Also around 11:30, we're going to bring you Friday Night Pigskin, where we bring you the Friday Night Phenom. Rolling out once more, Eli Stumpf. Give him the trio.
And what did it say? 3.
The magic number.
Yes, it is, Bryce. Kudos to Stumpf right there, showing them that, hey, I can do it too. I can do it too. And I told you, he's due for a big game, and him to get the hat trick right there, that is just a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Kudos to the quarterback. Love to see it.
So lining up for the PAT.
The Big Walnut offense. Reminds me of like, I don't know if you ever watched Recess. I'm maybe dating myself right now, but there's this a big bully towards the end in the show. That's what the offensive line just reminds me of. A guy that's going to take your lunch money, right?
So we will take a quick break with 1:07 remaining here in the fourth. Stay with us for the conclusion of this ball game.
Find more than a place to rent. Find a place to call home with the Champion Companies. Be part of a community where our team goes above and beyond because we want you to love where you live. Visit livewithchampion.com now and see how you can make the district at Berkshire your new home.
Very little time remaining here in the fourth quarter, but Wildcats are going to give it a whirl. Kick up into the hands of the man back to receive. Brought down at the 30, 101 remaining in the fourth. Jamari Alston once again the returner.
Had a pretty good game as a returner, man. Outside of, everything's going on for the Wildcats, but one thing you could say, they weren't in negative field position this game, Bryce.
So 1st and 10 from their own 30 is where they'll begin all the way along the left hash marks. With the snap, looking for a man. Walters, the quarterback.
Yeah, and just see that they're trying to get something out here, maybe trying to find the leakage in the deep coverage of the Big Walnut, but, this is kind of what we call deep blue coverage, Bryce. Cover 4, prevent, nothing gets past you. Be pretty tough to make a play for the Wildcats here as the time ticks away.
Approaching the 20-second mark. Back to pass. Walters looking for a receiver, and in fact he finds one. This one, Eschenauer. It will stop the clock momentarily until they get to the line of scrimmage.
This probably will be the last play they're able to get one out, but I don't think it's going to happen. And, yeah.
Not able to do so. So Big Walnut coming away with another conference victory here, this time 28-7 on the back of Eli Stumpf over the Westerville South Wildcats. Stay with us for the MVP, an interview and post-game show coming up next.
Live and free coverage of Big Walnut Athletics, proudly presented by the Sunbury Fraternal Order of Eagles, serving the community since 1898.
This place means everything to us. This is where we come together. We do all of our birthdays out here. We grill hamburgers and hot dogs. We fish. I was about to give up. I was about to think that the property wasn't going to become mine. Rural First specializes in solving the problems. I made the call, and the rest is history. It was done. It made everything easy, questions answered, walked me through the process. It was done. When I'm here, just feel peace. That's all it means to me. Peace.
Find more than a place to rent. Find a place to call home with the Champion Companies. Be part of a community where our team goes above and beyond because we want you to love where you live. Visit livewithchampion.com now and see how you can make the district at Berkshire your new home.
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
incredible game, a passing touchdown, but the real story, 3 rushing touchdowns on the game. Congratulations. So coming into this game, I mean, you're really the field general, staying safe in the pocket, getting the passes out, handing off to Nolan Burley. But today, it was a little bit different. Was that like a game time decision, or was that something you were planning on?
Yeah, a lot of it was game time decision, kind of in the moment. They're filling the box pretty well, and opportunities presented themselves. We tried to capitalize on it best as we could.
And so a great game both on the rushing front, but also the passing front. Do you think in this one the rush opened up the pass, or vice versa?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think definitely the run, they'd respect it a little bit more. Obviously, coming into the game, they're going to be a little tighter, kind of give us that cushion, and we just kind of taking underneath stuff all night, what they're giving us. So, yeah, that really worked out for us.
And a stonewall performance once again from your defense. I think Eli Helton coming away with 11 tackles on the night. As a quarterback, how does that feel on the sideline, knowing that you've got such a strong defense behind you that have your back?
Yeah, it's great. There's some drives that we'll go, maybe we get a 3 and out or something happens, and just to go look on the field and see how much energy they're playing with and how much passion they're playing with, it really just backs you up, gives you a little safe release out, and yeah, they do a great job.
And over the summer, you've certainly gotten taller, a lot bigger as well. So what has been kind of your focus in the offseason to really elevate your game to the next level?
Definitely try to get a quicker release in the passing game. Last year, kind of had a little bit of a slower, loopier release. So obviously, some of that comes with strength. Just getting stronger in the weight room is going to help with that. But yeah, then just consistently trying to be in the weight room, gain weight best I can. Yeah, that's kind of been the goal.
Anyone you want to shout out tonight?
The O-line, they did great tonight, keeping me safe as always. The receivers catching passes, and then coaches for setting us up with a great game plan.
Eli Stumpf, 9 for 12 passing, 166 yards, 1 passing touchdown, and 3 rushing touchdowns. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Live and free coverage of Big Walnut Athletics, proudly presented by the Sunbury Fraternal Order of Eagles, serving the community since 1898.
This place means everything to us. This is where we come together. We do all of our birthdays out here. We grill hamburgers and hot dogs. We fish. I was about to give up. I was about to think that the property wasn't going to become mine. Rural First specializes in solving the problems. I made the call, and the rest is history. It was done. It made everything easy. Questions answered, walked me through the process. It was done. When I'm here, just feel peace. That's all it means to me. Peace.
OH.REPORT brings you local high school sports coverage like nobody else. In football, basketball, baseball, volleyball, softball, soccer, wrestling, track and field. If it's happening in our area, we're streaming it.
Bryce coder Joshua Anderson with the Complete Air System Heating and Cooling LLC postgame show. Big Walnut with a 3-score victory, 28-7 after regulation, and this one kind of close in the first half. Same story as last week. I think it was really a close game, but ultimately it was the rushing that broke them open. This time not from Burley, although he did have over 150 yards, but it was Eli Stumpf who creative running led to 3 touchdowns.
Definitely. Stumpf definitely had a great second half. We were able to manage the team and kind of get receivers and plays to make some touchdowns. Even to make some big plays, his legs just kind of put the ball on at the end of the game, scores 3 rushing touchdowns.
Take a look at the stats. Westerville South with 14 first downs, 182 passing yards, and 66 rushing yards, for a total of 248. 1 turnover, 1 really been an issue, but in this game, really cleaning it up quite a bit.
Definitely, and we even mentioned this. It seemed like the game was just kind of going more smoothly. It seemed like the defense was a little more poised, wasn't jumping off sides, or didn't have any false starts on the. I don't think, no false starts really on offense. So it was a pretty good game overall.
And so closing things out, we'll take one more opportunity to thank our sponsor. I'd like to thank Complete Air Systems Heating and Cooling LLC. If you want a locally owned HVAC company with over 35 years experience to do top quality work without cutting corners, call Complete Air Systems Heating and Cooling Wing at 740-345-2021. Sunbury Christian, it's about relationship, not religion. Sunbury Fraternal Order of Eagles 3614, serving the Sunbury community, proud supporter of Big Walnut football. New members are always welcome. Reichert Express Sunbury. Shop Reichert used cars right here in Sunbury at Reichert Express Used Cars, right next to Tanger Outlets. We're dealing. Stover Excavating Incorporated, residential and commercial excavation services for the greater Columbus area since 2000. The District at Berkshire. Find more than a place to rent. Find a place to call home at the District at Berkshire. Brand new 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom apartment homes now available. BS Media Productions. Need a commercial to showcase your business or promote that you're hiring? BS Media Productions is the most affordable, high-quality production company in North Central Ohio. Find them on Facebook. And Rule First. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Rule First, the leader in rural lending. Rule First can help you live closer to what matters. I'm Bryce Goder, your play-by-play commentator and director for the evening. I'd like to thank Joshua Anderson, as always, in the booth with me, as well as Cam Seddon on the camera, doing a fantastic job tonight. If you're watching at home, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Have a great rest of your night.